Hi there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we bring you two or three cool tech stories in the news, something fun about the library, and get you on your way in 15 to 20 minutes for your week. Today, my guest is Valerie Simpson out there at West Regional. She's actually in charge of the whole cluster of libraries for the whole central cluster. How are you
Yes.
doing today, Miss Valerie?
I am well, Bob. I'm doing good.
That's good. That's good. That's good. We've got so many fun, cool topics to do. You brought a really intense one we got to cover. So I'm going to quickly bring up the browser here to show people what we're going to start with here, and then we're going to dig into your idea. I told you guys last week, everybody who tuned in, that we weren't going to talk about the launches last week because we wanted everyone to come back, and sure enough, they all did. So over this past week, over the weekend, SpaceX launched their first amateur astronauts. 4 people went up in the capsule and then came back down. Everything's fine. Don't check on the bathrooms, apparently. They need work up there. Um, 3 Chinese astronauts landed after doing the longest mission for China. They crushed every thing that they did because they did the original longest for any Chinese astronaut was 33 days, and this one lasted for 92 days
Wow.
up on their new space station. So that was a really good thing for them. That's all working along well. Speaking of space stations, NASA has a new proposal out, and they're expecting to save over $1 billion from NASA's budget by giving that over to private companies to run the International Space
Hmm.
Station when it's up there. So, any of these news stories hit you, Miss Valerie? Do you care about
Not
this stuff up
really.
there in space?
No,
No?
I'm not really interested in outer space. Yeah, I like looking at the moon, and
There we
but
go.
other than that, outer space, maybe COVID-19 should take a trip.
Yeah, maybe we get it to evacuate the planet. That might be a good thing.
That
I'll
would be
give you
wonderful.
one. I'll give you one thing because Miss Valerie here has a creation station out at West Regional Library. And one of the cool things that's going on up at the space station right now is they're using augmented reality and using the HoloLens to do repairs up there. And it's pretty simple, straightforward stuff so far. But they're testing this for the future Mars missions and things. And the reason I bring this up because we at Creation Station have this same gear for you to come in and use. And when
Yes.
we move to in-person programs come October and November, you can come back and start using this gear at creation stations around. So when you do, you have to make an appointment for it, and we can sit down with you and show you how to use this augmented reality gear, just like they're using up on the space station right now. And that's pretty cool for your local library to be doing that, don't you think, Miss Val?
Yes, yes, absolutely. The West Regional Creation Station is actually moving to new studio space, uh, which is behind the CTC, where
Mm-hmm.
we have, I think, 40 computers for customers to use, and the new West Regional Creation Studio will be set up for customers to make their own movies
Yeah, it's going to be a really
and
nice space
video.
when that gets finished. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
we've been working on that one for a long time, and it's finally all coming back together. I
yes,
saw an order went in today just for the special cameras for it, so it'll be fun.
yes.
It's going to be really cool.
I'm actually looking forward.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a great thing. It's going to be so much fun out there as we get as the library system just reopens and keeps opening and doing more and more stuff. It's going to be great. Don't think we slept on this while we were all not doing programs. We were preparing to get some cool things.
Yes,
In
yes.
fact, I'm going to show you one of those cool things right here is what do you think about spiders?
Uh-uh.
So, if you are
they're not.
somebody who's
They're not my
afraid,
favorite,
if you're
with one
deathly
exception,
afraid of
and Nancy
spiders,
is my guy.
yeah. If you're deathly afraid of spiders, you may not want this app, but it's an app from Switzerland. So University in Switzerland put this out as kind of a thing to test for exposure therapy, as it's called. Where you
Oh,
expose yourself to something that you're afraid of in a safe environment to get yourself used to the idea. And
Oh no.
so, yeah. So the app is called Phobos, and we'll put a link to that up on the show notes for you so that you guys can go download it if you want to. And it's all just an app. It takes a augmented
Okay.
reality shot of what's going on around you, just like it shows here in the picture. And you can see the spiders crawling around on your skin.
Oh, sure. I'm sure for Halloween some people would want to try that.
That's great. See, I didn't even think of that when I shared this story. That is that's great. Oh, now I'm going to have to start getting some people together to do this. That really,
Mm-hmm.
huh.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can practice doing that with some other thing, and all of a sudden we've got people going all over the place with spiders. That is really cool. I like that idea. See, that's really ingenious, Miss Valerie. I like that. But you can see right here where it's got some pretty nice semi-realistic spiders out there for you.
It
And
does
it's
look
gonna look
real.
like yeah, and it's gonna look right in your own setting, wherever you happen to be, because it's using augmented reality, using your phone's camera to show that. So yeah. Now, unfortunately, there are some, this is one of those apps where you have to pay. But
Okay.
you can test it without having to pay. And then as you get the chance to test and do things. So
Oh,
go
you
ahead
can
and
test it.
explore this thing.
Okay. I
Yeah,
didn't hear
yeah,
the
yeah,
word
yeah.
before. Hmm.
So this is
And for how
really
long do you
interesting.
test it?
I haven't tried it yet to do. Um, Not that I'm afraid of spiders. I've got the other augmented reality gear. Almost never use my phone for this kind of stuff. So I saw this
Mm.
and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Um, huh. We're gonna have to experiment. Now you got me thinking. I'm gonna have to go download this and start experimenting with this. One other quick story to hit for everybody is this is one of my favorite websites out there called Rest of the World,
Mhm.
and make sure that you're reading stuff out there with a non-US, non-North American perspective, to give you an idea of what else is happening in the rest of the world. And Indonesia has this huge thing going on right now where they're trying to digitize all those little street vendors. If you've been in any place, this is effectively when you go to an art festival here in the United States. You've got all the little booths, and this is how a lot of places
Ah.
all around the world in all their markets have this. And so they are working to try and digitize every one of those little markets. And so there are some companies that what they do is they'll give them the store owner free Wi-Fi so that the people will hang out at the store and use that Wi-Fi and buy more things. And the store owner will then subscribe to this company so that they can use that company's application to sell more things and basically connect every one of these markets. Like Indonesia alone has millions of these markets.
Mm.
When you've been traveling, Valerie, you've seen all these places like that.
Mm. Mm.
You haven't seen these
No.
like the little market when you're out there and seeing the little vendors or different spaces around like that.
I, I mean, I have seen, well, we have roadside vendors in Jamaica.
Yeah, exactly. Same idea.
Yeah.
Same idea. If all of those people were
Yeah,
on
and I
there,
guess like in the
yeah,
airport.
yep. And you could use an app to go buy something. You're just there on the streets of Jamaica, or when we go back
Yes.
for my wife, we go back to Puerto Rico, and you've got all the
Mm.
little street vendors there, on the beach. You can't get really. That's the best
Yeah,
seafood
and
ever. Is right there on the
actually in
beach.
Kingston, downtown
Yeah.
Kingston, they have a market that they actually call Bend Down Plaza,
Hmm.
where and it's just practically called bend down because you have to bend down because the vendors are sitting
Yeah.
on
Uh-huh.
the ground, so you bend down to shop with them. Yeah, so I could see something like that. Mhm.
Yeah, and that way they would be able to take digital currency, whether it's giving them, credit card, or some people would do, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency things possibly, but this
Right.
allows that small little street vendor to be part of the whole ecosystem. Now, of course, these app vendors are not doing it for free. Their goal is that you get their app and then they can become your wholesaler so that you
Right.
can get all of your stuff that you're selling through them. So, as they point out, one of the people who created all this worked on Walmart's apps. So it's the
Ah,
same kind of people working behind the scenes on all this stuff.
I see that.
Yeah, it's a
Includes
pretty
things that
interesting thing.
Walmart owns, Flipkart.
Yeah. And so now that this is, everybody in the world has a smartphone, now everybody can do this.
Right. It says this is the first time that the mom and pop retailer, the small store, actually has a smartphone in their hand. This change will only happen once ever.
Because once you can get them hooked,
Yeah.
and once you can get them on the phone, get them connected to your network, now it's a lot harder to change. It's a really cool thing. Of course, this is a nice long story. Go hit the show notes later on and go read all this. It's going to be
Right.
great for you.
Right.
Then there's the one other big story of the week, and that is climate changed or climate crisis. I tend to talk about it as a climate crisis. And Miss
Right.
Valerie, you were like, wait, there was this show today. There was this show today. There was this show today.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. Climate change is all over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
There's a lot of people
from the
doing these
United
things.
Nations
Yep.
to the late night show talk host.
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting that they're actually trying to coordinate all that through all the different talk shows
Right.
across different
Right.
platforms, across different networks and all those things, just trying to bring it to everyone's attention. I put up a link here on our page here to a brand new show called How We Survive, which is talking about I've seen the previews for this and it's really good. I really like the host that does this, Molly Wood, on her other shows. This show is not so much about, oh my gosh, the planet's burning down, we're all going to die.
Right.
This is about, no, we need to change things. So what are we going to do to change it? How do we survive? What are the changes we need to make to do it? And this is just one of a lot of other podcasts out there and a lot of those other news stories that you need to go out and pay attention to because everyone really needs to take this on themselves, not just because you recycling at home by yourself is going to stop the planet from burning, but everybody
Mhm.
has to contribute and everybody has to pay attention to what's actually happening. I mean, what else are we going to do, Miss Val?
Hmm?
How are we going to stop this? What are we going to do about this?
What do we do? I was looking at our collection to see what we have as far as material, and I discovered Bill Gates wrote a book recently. I think it was published earlier this year, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster, the solutions we have and the
Mm-hmm.
breakthroughs we need, is available here at the library in large print as ebook and e-audio. And then for persons
Got that
who
up on the screen right
are,
here for everybody to see it.
mhm,
And we have it in Spanish also.
right. And then I also discovered that there's a whole new genre called Cli-Fi for climate fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we have quite a collection here. One that I personally want to read is one called A Children's Bible by Lydia Millett. It's available as a book, as an ebook, and as an e-audio book.
Who's the author on that one?
Lydia Millett,
Lydia.
Millet. Then there's
There we go. Yep.
Barbara Kingsolver, Flight Behavior.
Yep. And as always, guys, all you need is your library card, all for free. You don't even have to be here in Broward County. If you live, work, or go to school in the county, you get a library card for free. If you were born here in the county and got dragged off to some other
Mm-hmm.
horrible place, come on back to Broward in the first place. But
Right.
we'll give you a library card and you can still check out all your digital materials for free with libraries. Right? It's amazing. One other cool library thing I want to share with everybody. Tomorrow, if you haven't already registered tonight, register first thing in the morning and pop in to see us. Conference on Children's Literature is coming up this Friday, tomorrow. It's going to be an all-day conference. Great stuff. It's not just for librarians. It's for parents, teachers, anyone who's interested in children's literature, books. There'll be some crafts. There'll be some hands-on. It's a virtual conference, and we're still doing hands-on crafts with us. You got to come see how this works. Wait till you try
Right.
origami by WebEx. It's fun. We're actually going to have some really fun stuff with this. And we're all going to experiment and make it all happen. And it's a great, great time. Lots of people going in this. The Read for the Record people are going to be here and everything. So please, if you get a chance tomorrow, pop in and see us from 9 to 4 on Friday.
Right. And we have
Because
some
if you
cool
register, you
authors
get
that
the
are going to be
recordings.
there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ruth and Kat, Selena Yoon. I mean, we've got some amazing authors that are going to be part of this, and I've had a really fun time working with them, getting them all lined up, and because I'm doing all the background check for the conference. So
Okay.
yeah, it's fun. Just such cool stuff, and it's sponsored by the Broward County Library Foundation and the Children's Services Council and Overdrive and is throwing in some stuff for us for prizes. So yeah, this is a really great conference for everybody to come and hang out with. And the link's right there on the website, broward.org/library/events. Come see us. Miss Valerie, we flew through that time. We flew through all
Yeah.
those stories. I got to have you on here more often. We hit all the stories and made it out on time. That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Wonderful.
What else is going on out there at West Regional or out there in the cluster? We talked about Creation Station. What else you got going on out there?
Well, the last big thing was Don Miguel Ruiz
Mm-hmm.
with being interviewed by Frida Mosquera
Yep.
from the Lauderdale Lakes Library, and she did two sessions, one in Spanish and one in English as a kickoff for Hispanic Heritage Month. And most of the libraries, if not all, are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. We have exhibits up and book displays, so you can come borrow,
Of
see.
Allison Grubb, the director. She's got her book club coming
She'll be
West
here,
Regional.
but in October, almost end of October. I think she starts with a virtual book discussion, probably one day next week,
Mm-hmm.
and it will be hosted by the main library. And then after that, she will go out to the branches
Yeah, I think one of her first
to
stops is
do
there at
in
West Regional, if I
person.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, some in-person discussions. And the book she's doing is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. That one came out about
Yeah.
when?
I don't remember.
Maybe about 5
It's been
years
out a while.
ago?
Yeah, it's been out a while.
3, 4 years ago. I knew it took the whole world by storm, because this author Rebecca Skloot was telling us something that we all didn't know, and then the whole background story, which I like that kind of book.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
I
a lot of
like.
it. It's a very accessible book for anybody who's out there. Again, hit up the library website and it's there. You can
The
check the book out,
Immortal
get a
Life of
read, do it.
Henrietta Lacks.
Yep.
Yeah, read it
And we'll
and
do that
join
on.
us.
Yes, we will.
Join Allison.
let me throw up our final slide here. Thank you so much, Miss Valerie, for being here and hanging out with us today. And
Yes,
as always, if you have a favorite library or favorite librarian you want to see featured here on Tech Talk, Creation Station at Broward.org. Let us know, or any news stories you want us to cover. We'll see you next week. Stay safe, everybody.
all right, bye-bye.